Yeah, CBM Switzerland is part of CBM Global, and we are an international NGO working in the field of disability. We are working in different countries in Asia and in Africa. We are focusing on disability rights in our work. That means that we work for and with persons with disabilities. Our partners are mainly ministries, but also organizations with persons with disabilities. We have like program work as other international NGOs as well, but we provide also advice services, and we support advocacy for the rights of persons with disabilities. Our main focus, as I said, is we are working in the field of community-based inclusive development. Our areas of work are community mental health as well, inclusive eye health. So in the area of vocational education and training, we do have some programs in Madagascar, for example, where we support projects that specifically focus, for example, on youth with hearing impairments and visual impairments. So that's our touching point to TVET. The twin track approach is an approach that focuses both on the strengthening of the individual, the support of the individual with a disability, but also focuses on the environmental barriers, such as communication barriers, social, legal framework, and attitudinal barriers. So we are working on the one hand, and that's where advocacy is very important, and advisory work, and the individual support can be assistive devices, capacity building, but also capacity building to organizations of persons with disabilities. And that's something which is very important for our work. That's the twin track approach. In Switzerland, yes, we also work with organizations with disabilities. With the organization of persons with disabilities. In Switzerland, the awareness about the importance and also the legal obligation for international actors to respect the rights of persons with disabilities is not so big, and as well for OPDs, these organizations of persons with disabilities. So we strengthen them in this form that we collaborate when we do awareness training to other INGOs, for example, or to SDC. And we also provide a platform for exchange that the Swiss organizations of persons with disabilities can learn from experiences of OPDs from the South, from the global South, and vice versa. So these are two forms of our collaboration here in Switzerland with OPDs. Most often it starts with awareness raising, that we contact companies and raise awareness about the situation of persons with disabilities, and there we talk about the perception they have on the as well abilities of persons with disabilities, and this is done always in collaboration with the Organization of Persons with Disabilities, and we are not doing it by ourselves because we are an international NGO, and we want persons with disabilities to speak for themselves. We cannot speak for them. So that's a role for us as well, that we link these stakeholders together. So it's about awareness raising, then it's about the needs assessment. What are the needs of a company when it comes to vocational training? And the third point then is how we as a NGO can support individuals that they can join. And there we are again in this twin track approach. how can we empower, how can we strengthen an individual, for example, with an assistive device, or linking to resource centers, or to a medical center. It can be also a medical center, that this person can join a vet or a vocational training. My own experience is that there is a lack of understanding what disability means, in the sense of a lot of people that I met during my work and also private life focus on a medical model of disability, and looking for the impairment, and try to fix an impairment, but not focus on the barriers that persons face. And these barriers can be overcome when we work as a society and as stakeholders. So that's probably one of the most important points. So this is about awareness and about attitudinal barriers, and they are not visible. To build a ramp, that's pretty straightforward, and this seems to be logical to most of us. Okay, let's build a ramp that someone with a wheelchair can join or can access a building. But disability and diversity, the diversity of disabilities and life realities of all of us go much more than just a ramp. And sometimes, or often, the realities are invisible, and this needs a lot of understanding of these attitudinal barriers. So in a nutshell, I think we do have technical solutions for a lot of things, but they are useless if the stakeholders are not aware and do not have the attitude to apply the rights to every person, not just person with disabilities, but just to every one of us.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my experience in Rwanda. But then I would like first to have a brief overview on what NUDOR we do, so that you get a clear picture of our contribution to mainstream disability in all the whole of the services that are taken in Rwanda. So in fact, as you know, that NUDOR is National Union of Organization of Disability Organizations in Rwanda. It has like 15 member organizations that have different disabilities. So it has like three intervention areas: that's health, education, and economic empowerment, even advocacy. Then briefly on health, we have a program called Make Way that is funded by Lillian Foundation, and it's about SRH, sexual, productive, and health and rights. So we are just promoting those in different categories, more especially in youth, so that they become very inclusive. Also, we have another project called Child Empowerment Program that is to support youth, children from 0 to 25, from poor families, to acquire health treatment, so that they are just rehabilitated. Then they pay them for school fees, so that they just gain also education status. So education, we are just promoting education for all and inclusion and accessibility in those schools. And that project is just promoting, just supported to make the school, some of the schools, their samples, to showcase to the different stakeholders that it's possible to make some accessibility in their schools, to make our youth or children to learn in an accessible condition. We have also other many projects on economic empowerment, where I'm just mainly focused, where we are just supporting youth to acquire technical skills so that they transit to employment. So in terms of legal framework, as I just told you, in fact, Rwanda has a good position to promote inclusion, where it just ratified the UN CRPD, just disability rights, it just put the law, and it's willing to promote inclusive. But the main challenge is that the understanding of disability is still far. You see, some people are willing, but they are not aware of disability issues. So that's what NID is doing by just promoting or just training some of the staff from different entities so that they become inclusive. Just recently, we also have a project that is going to come where we are just going to have like youth from OPDs who will be in charge of promoting disability in different organizations, more especially NGOs, government institutions, financial institutions, wherever, so that in all Rwanda, they become aware of that disability issue. Because you see, to the level of NUDOR only, we can't manage to promote inclusion. But then if we work together with all those youth and other people, we shall have to come a clear understanding of disability, then disability mainstreaming will be done. But the issue is most companies, most vocational and education training centers are willing to support our youth or children. But when you talk to them, they say that it seems to be difficult or very expensive to accommodate the different youth or children with impairment. For example, the issue of those with hearing impairment. You see, there must be teachers of administrative staff who know the sign language, and to have that in all schools, it's quite difficult. So we have one association of NUDOR called Rwanda National Union of the Deaf that is just fighting and see whether sign language could be one of the language that is used in Rwanda. So it's what it's doing, it's striving to so that it be accepted. And once it is accepted, I think all that language will be taught from the nursery up to all schools. That I think when it's done, we shall be having an inclusive society where those people with hearing impairment are living in a conducive condition. But we still have a long way to go because all companies have not clear understanding on disability. So we still have much to do so that many enterprises, companies, private and government-based, could be fully inclusive, friendly. Otherwise, we've done that, and we know that it's a good way to work with different organizations. Another thing NUDOR did in one of the projects, it is just carrying out CBR, community-based rehabilitation, where the project is working from the grassroots, working in the area where children are, so that different stakeholders who are there know about disability, know that if NUDOR has done one thing, others can also contribute, so that one individual can benefit from different stakeholders that are around in the village, so that that one becomes fit in the community. So that's what we are promoting, so that everyone in the village could just understand or have clear image on disability and know that it's his or her mandate to contribute on the well-being of persons with disabilities. Some data could be found, but not much, because in previous years, every project was going and doing its advocacy, but then NUDOR said that we can't track these changes or positive commitments that they have done. Better we put or provide a staff that is concerned with only advocacy. So now he just started with this year, 2023. So I think in the future we'll be having positive changes in regard to advocacy that was done in previous days. But now you can just realize some, but now I know they are going to document different commitments and changes that happened in the previous years. You see, normally persons with disabilities are normally just based in these weaving, the tailoring, the whatever and that. But now we've seen that it's not enough, because you see in many areas, we lack persons with disabilities. In fact, as I just mentioned in the other document, I say that we can just promote our youth to learn like information and technology, where you can find our youth can work closely with the communication organizations so that they work. You see, like giving cash to customers, it's not difficult for a young woman or man to work on that. They can just apply those jobs which don't need strong analytical and problem-solving skills, like hospitality and tourism. In somehow you can find that these people can be fit, like in hotels and restaurant management, customer service, and even tour guiding. They can do it. So this can also be encouraged to our youth. We can also say that they can join health care, where they can study and be like laboratory technicians, be nurses, they can be even medical assistants. They can do many things in terms of healthcare, selling products online, like managing sales and team, like storekeepers, things of the kind. They can just do it. Also, in agriculture and farming, we can also put them there, and they can learn more, where they can have opportunities, including like food processing, in terms of culinary arts. So we need to mainstream, to make disability aware everywhere, so that whoever needs to do something positive in regard to disability could do it in the right way. Also, I could call upon all countries to strengthen advocacy. Advocacy, why? Because you see, in all countries, they have good policies, they have good laws, but the implementation becomes an issue. So it demands the NGOs, other people who are disability friendly, to wake up and go on the government and remind them, present the challenges, and present the way forward, how the disabilities can be addressed, and mention it to the government people, so that they try to understand on how they can address different issues that are affecting persons with disabilities. So when people are working together in this condition, I know that somehow, there will be some improvements in terms of disability. In fact, you see, I've shared my experience. I will have your experience and put it into practice in Rwanda. So this BarCamp is very productive and constructive. In fact, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, it was also a rich experience for me, and very happy to see how you approach the entire topic, and also the engagement that you had in this in the BarCamp. And yes, I also received positive feedback from the group, indeed, and I think it is very important, these exchanges. Often my colleagues expect to receive like ready-made solutions, and normally we cannot provide it right away. So there's a bit of a yeah, we need to manage these expectations as well. But I think that was well done in the BarCamp, because we had the possibility to exchange, and it was a starting point. And as I mentioned before, it's about the awareness raising at the beginning, and the understanding that persons with disabilities are very diverse, with very specific abilities and needs as well. So when it comes to TVET as well, we don't need to think about this group of the population can do this because we just did it for 100 years like that, or we consider that that's the best. But if we start to collaborate with OPDs, if we assess the situation of an individual person, context of a vocational education or training, then we see there are different potentials. It's 15% of the world population, person with disabilities, and this potential can be beneficial in different areas of the economy and not just in one area. So I think, and that was the starting point, and these reflections were well done during the exchange. Also, I thought the understanding what is a twin track approach and what are barriers, or what can be barriers that hinders persons with disabilities to participate in the economy, in the economic life, grew during this session. So yes, I think it was very useful also for me to hear from other colleagues to get their experience. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity.